Hey there. So today I thought I'd take a look at Batman 159. So this is part two of Hush 2. I previously looked at the first part of this story, Batman 158. So that's on the channel if you want to take a look at it. I also have a video where I looked at this here. So this is the preview ash can of this issue here that came out. I did a video on this a couple weeks ago. And so this is like a section of the issue, like in black and white, but with no text or anything in it. So kind of got part of the story in that, but not too much. So I had some predictions as to what would be in this. So we'll take a look at this here and see what it looks like. So yeah, starting off, we've got an ad for the new Superman Unlimited book. Really looking forward to that. I'm kind of getting hyped up on some of the Superman stuff that DC's got coming out this summer. And so then opening up, we've got the street sign here for Park Row, and it's been spray painted Crime Alley over the top of it. And so this is where Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. This is something that I said in the black and white preview would probably read better in color, and I think it does here. Then we've got this sort of watercolor sequence that I really liked in the original Hush. I was kind of disappointed that there weren't any of these in the first issue, but it looks like we've got them back here. So yeah, we've got sort of a flashback to when Bruce Wayne's parents died. Then we cut to Batman now in the Batmobile with the Joker. Again, the last issue, he's kind of been tortured by Hush, and Batman has to save his life now. Then we have another watercolor sequence here where we've got Leslie Tompkins here. Looks like this is the night that Bruce Wayne's parents died and she found him. And so now we're back to present day with Leslie's at her clinic here, and it looks like Batman's taking the Joker here to see if she can help save him. So nice colors here with the sort of purple of, you know, the present day kind of framing the blue of the flashback sequences here. So really nice effect. Really makes the red of the rose stand out down here too. So yeah, this is Batman taking Joker to be saved by Leslie. Got a big ad here for the We Are Yesterday crossover going on between Justice League and World's Finest. Then we've got Batman bringing him in here, and Leslie's telling him she's not set up for this kind of thing, and he needs to go to like an ER. And he says that he can't be, or Leslie accuses him rather of not being able to be seen in public with the Joker. And Batman says he can't because he thinks, you know, that's something Hush would want. So he had to take him somewhere else. Okay, so they've got Joker laid out, you know, on a gurney here, and Leslie seems kind of shocked, but I don't know. This doesn't look like Joker's at death's door to me. I mean, he just looks kind of bruised and beaten up a little bit. This doesn't look like he's about to die. So, I mean, I feel like that's sort of a, you know, a failure on Jim Lee's part, maybe. I'm just like, yeah, he looks like he's been beat up, but I don't think, you know, doesn't look like anything he can't sleep off to me, you know, as far as the artwork goes here. So yeah, they're really talking about him like he's, you know, about to die, and that Leslie is the only one that can save him. So yeah, we've got like some X-rays here and stuff, but yeah, I don't know if I feel like that's something they could have expressed a little better through the art, you know, because here it just looks kind of underwhelming considering this build-up they've given it. And you know, Leslie keeps saying she's not set up for this. I mean, she's an emergency clinic in the ghetto of Gotham. I feel like Bruce Wayne probably funds her work. It seems like she would be better equipped for things like this. You know, Batman just asks her to do her best. And then Joker is kind of choking here, and she says he's waking up and asks if he has any bat gas in his belt. And so Batman takes out this syringe and says it'll put the Joker in a medically induced coma. And Leslie tells him to kind of go wait outside. And so here we've got Batman sitting down. Looks like he's kind of dozing off. So now we have another watercolor sequence here. Now, I don't think this is a flashback. I think this is like just a dream he's having. Because it looks like we've got Joker gunning down Bruce's parents here, and I don't think this ties into Batman '89 or anything like that. I think this is just like a nightmare he's having. And then Leslie comes out to wake him up, and the first thing Batman asks is he dead? And Leslie tells him not yet, but it's noon the next day apparently, and they're and he's sleeping. And she says that he has to get Joker out of there because he needs to be in a real hospital, and she tells him to take him to Arkham. He says that'll kill him. He realizes that Tommy has kind of planned it to where Batman has to save Joker's life. And again, something that's happened a couple times in comics before. Like, Batman hasn't killed Joker, but he's been forced to save his life before. So, something that, has happened before. So yeah, I think that's, by my count, I think that's the third time in stories I've read where Batman has saved Joker's life. So now we cut to the Batcave. Joker's comatose here, and Batman's kind of thinking about what's going on, reading some medical readouts of him, and he's sort of contemplating that he could have dumped his body somewhere and let him die. But, again, he thinks that might be what Hush wants. Again, a lot of back and forth here in Batman's head about what Hush is trying to do here. Does he want Batman to save him? Does he, the Joker, does he not? Kind of a lot of back and forth here with that. And now we've got Batman sort of inspecting Joker's body, talking about how he thought, he originally thought that Joker's white skin was just paint, but then he realizes it is his skin, and that, he has no fingerprints, no prints on his toes. And then here we have this mysterious stranger sneaking up on Batman here in the Batcave with a gun. And I think this is where the preview issue cut off. And again, my, prediction from this, and pretty much the cover, is that this is, the Red Hood here, Jason Todd. So Batman's asking him how he got in there. The stranger here says that if he has a way out, he has a way in. And he says that Joker's not bulletproof, but Batman, throws him off. And he hits like a, I don't know if it's a breaker box or some sort of the power supply in the Batcave. But Batman says it'll be 20 seconds before the relays kick back in. And so now we've got Batman fighting the intruder here. Batman says Tommy has brought out this piece on the board before. So again, we're thinking this is Red Hood, Jason Todd. And what Batman is referring to is back in the first Hush story, Clayface showed up masquerading as Jason Todd back from the dead. Now, when that story takes place, Jason Todd was still dead. I still think that was sort of a soft sell for DC to see how people would react to Jason Todd coming back from the dead. Because he'd been gone for so long at that point. Like, back then, there was even a saying, like, only Bucky and Jason Todd stay dead in comic books. And, both of them are back now. Now, something to note here, too, is Batman says, this feels different. This time, my attacker moves exactly like the real one would. And that was a point to the original Hush story where Batman said that the Jason Todd of that story was mimicking Nightwing's moves. Because Jason had been dead for so long, no one had any reference to Jason Todd and how he would fight at that point. So Batman gets the gun away from him, and then Batman picks up the gun and shoots him. Again, pretty uncharacteristic for Batman to shoot a Robin, but it says here, just crease him, so he just kind of bounces off the helmet there. Batman's saying, I thought we had made amends. He should have known better. And so now power's back on, and yeah, this is Jason Todd, Red Hood. And so Jason even says here, you had to make sure. I know about Clayface impersonating me. So he kind of understands why Batman was fighting him here. And we've got Joker in the background there still. And so Jason says he's here to finish what he came here to do. And Batman asks if he's been talking to Hush. And again, that seems pretty unlikely. But in Batman's defense, I guess Hush manipulated a lot of people in the previous, in the first storyline. So he's gonna, he even accused Catwoman by the end of the story of being in league with Hush. So it's not that surprising, I guess, that Batman would consider that. But again, you know, we've got this back and forth here where it looks like Jason wants to kill the Joker. I feel like we've been over that, you know, since the character came back around the time of the Under the Red Hood storyline. And I think there was like I think it was like an anniversary issue of Detective where they kind of go into this again. Yeah, a lot of back and forth on whether or not to kill the Joker. And again, something that came up in the original Hush story too, where Commissioner Gordon basically has to talk down Batman from killing Joker, and now in this issue we've got him trying to save his life. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty from Batman in this story. A lot of back and forth with Batman trying to figure out what's going on with Hush. And you know, the other part is too that Hush has shown up since then too. Like the original Hush story isn't the only story with Hush. You know, there've been some other good stories. First time Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee have come back to tell a story, so I think they're just, you know, kind of treating this like maybe Hush hasn't been around since then. So now we cut to Barbara Gordon's watchtower, or clock tower rather, and Nightwing and her talking, saying he knows where you live. That means everybody knows. Nightwing says, riddle me this, why would you help us? And so here we've got the Riddler, so we've got this new rebooted version of the Riddler here, it looks like, with a big question mark on his suit. Now, my issue with this is, this really should have been an ad page over here, so that when you flip the page, then you see the reveal of the Riddler here, because now as I'm reading this is right here, I can see this. So I don't know that this is necessarily Jim Lee's fault, but it really should be on whoever was kind of putting the book together, you know, putting the files together. You definitely want the reveal on the left side page. So yeah, somebody dropped the ball on that. So yeah, so turn the page. Okay, so now we've got Batman kind of waking up in the cave saying he's alone, the car's gone, and Joker and Red Hood are gone too, and he said he was going to finish what he came here to do. It was not to kill the Joker. Jason is working with Hush. So maybe that is where they're going with the story. I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like Jason would know better than to trust a supervillain, but who knows? Maybe his desire to kill the Joker, you know, is making him not think straight. It doesn't really seem like Batman is in this story so far, so we'll see where they go with that. It's interesting. It's, you know, story still definitely has my attention. We'll see where they go with this. Again, this is a story that, you know, in theory, Jeff Loeb could have been planning out for 20-some years now. Definitely want to read the rest of this, see where it goes. We've got this nice guide here to a bunch of the variant covers, which, you know, a lot of other companies do, but DC doesn't really do this very often, so it's kind of nice seeing that here. And, okay, so now we've got a preview here for Batgirl number 7. Yeah, it looks like it's the start of a new story, so I'm not sure why they're previewing the 7th issue of a book, but here it is. Then we've got a preview for the Summer of Superman book. So yeah, I got that. I read that on Superman Day. Again, really like what DC's got going on with the Superman books right now. So if you haven't picked that up, check it out. And then we've got ads for some of the other Batman titles. So yeah, if you like reading Hush, check these out too. Yeah, so that's the second part of Hush 2, or H2, however nonsense you're supposed to say that. Yeah, and we do have the Hush and the blood down here, so I'm not sure if this is going to be something on every cover where Jim Lee kind of hides Hush, you know, in the artwork there, but we'll see. So yeah, so this has been out for a minute. I assume if you're watching this, you might have read this already. What did you think? How do you think this compares to the original Hush story? Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. Like, what do you think Hush is up to here? And I'll probably take a look at the third part when it comes out too. So come back, and thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter/X at Detective651. Also on Instagram at Detective651. Be sure to check out my t-shirt store at tpublic.com/user/Detective651. I've got a lot of nerdy designs on there, and there's sales all the time, so check it out frequently.